Hey, VanGoghChica here. I'm here today not to so much show you how to do a card or anything, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on a really popular journaling trend called junk journaling. I have seen so much about junk journaling this past year. It's really been kind of this new phenomenon. I think there was a woman, I think her name is Margaret Miller. Margaret Miller is somebody I follow on YouTube, and I'm going to mention some people and put their YouTube or TikTok handle in my description because they're people I like to follow, and I try to pick people different generations, different races, I want different viewpoints. Margaret Miller in 2024 wrote a book, something like The Art of Memory Keeping or something like that. But it started the, quote, junk journaling craze. I don't know who named it because I don't have that book. If she named it in that book, and now she's coming out with a new one that people are waiting for. But I personally, when I started looking into what is junk journaling, do I do junk journaling and don't know it? Junk journaling is kind of like scrapbooking. But there is a difference. And there's a young woman, I wrote their names and I'm going to put them in my description. I think she goes by KTS Journal on YouTube. I'll put it down. Oh no, actually the young woman that wrote about junk journaling versus scrapbooking is, her handle is Journal with Ker, K-E-R. I will put that. And she addresses junk journaling or scrapbooking. Do I think they're the same? And I agree with her opinion in that scrapbooking to me is something, I used to keep a scrapbook. And ladies, I am 63, ladies and gents. So 1970s, when I was young, I kept a scrapbook. And I remember, to me, scrapbooking is about commemorating specific things. My first kiss, here's a movie stub on the first date with somebody I liked. Here was my report card. I'm so old that we used to call them report cards. I don't think they call them that anymore. Baby born, it commemorated things. Everything had this meaning that you put in your scrapbook. But junk journaling doesn't necessarily, you don't need to have meaning around the specific piece. You're putting it, maybe you like that color. Maybe you like this P, this font in a magazine. You cut that out and put that there. Junk journaling is anything, it's things that you come across or you choose and that you just arrange them on your page in a way that is pleasing. I think that's the only instructions. And it's very easy to start. So that has a great plus. I personally am of the belief that every human being is born with a desire to express themselves intellectually and artistically and emotionally. Our culture doesn't really promote and encourage a lot of artistic expression unless you're someone that works in the arts. We do a lot of commercial artistic style things with clothes and makeup, but just purely creating crayons, markers, paints, paper. Like I used to teach art in elementary school. There's hardly any time for real art projects in school anymore. It's really like now, even those businesses painting with a twist, and I used to love this one, board and brush. It was like painting with a twist, but for woodworking. You would go and have a night, you could have champagne, whatever you want, and you make. With this, they will provide, you tell them the design you want, and they will provide you with everything, and that night you put together this beautiful artistic board. But they're going bankrupt, and I think they're either closed, all of them, or most of them, and I was really sad. It's just, I think painting with a twist is going that route, I'm not sure. But there's less and less avenues for people to explore their artistic talent, music, writing, visual. We do support a lot of dance, but not as much. And I'm not talking just about museums, I'm talking about instructional things, teaching people, what is a junk journal? How do you paint? How do you draw? Just playing with form and function, the basics of what journaling is. I had this discussion with my dear friend, David, and he believes that, I wrote this down, he believes it's due to, in the US, this alienation that a lot of people feel because our lives are so busy, and we are encouraged like success equals material accumulation and productivity. It doesn't, you're not considered successful for your style, successful that you're an artist, successful that you're a beautiful journaler. It's like, what have you produced? And he feels that junk journaling is popular because I asked him, why do you think junk journaling became so popular in 2024? He's very political. He analyzed society-wise. It's due to societal alienation. We often feel like anonymous cogs in a wheel. You just go to work and people, what leads to burnout. And we often are searching for meaning in our life. Journaling provides that. Junk journaling, art journaling, any type, because you're in control. And it's always, you're sending a message of some sort. You are expressing yourself, whether it's just gluing down mailers that come to you in the mail, or whether you're painting, you are expressing an artistic vision of some sort. I like to have meaning in mine, and I don't know if all junk journalers don't have meaning or do have, but that's for me. There's a wonderful woman on TikTok. She goes by @Kashia Turner, but I think she pronounces her name Kashia Asha. I always rewind it trying to hear how she pronounces it. She's really fun. She does so much. This young woman has so much energy. She's into plants. She's into beading. She's into not card making, junk journaling, all sorts of stuff. The young woman has so much energy. I'm so in awe, and I get a kick out of her style presentation. I feel like we're sitting at the kitchen table, and I just want to visit with her. I think she'd be so much fun to hang out with. I also follow a woman named Nuneka. I like hers because they're bilingual usually, but she does do them in English. I'm going to put all these. Anyway, for me, I'll just share like what my journal looks like. I don't think I'm a junk journaler, but let me put this. I've been told I don't raise my artwork high enough. So for me, again, it's because I did have training as an art historian. I like to paint a lot. So I enjoy making my own papers. They're all just start as regular paper, but I might do a print on top of it with a stencil on top of that. Or I may put some texture paste and then use ink to smudge it. These are the Neocolor water-soluble crayons I used here because you draw and then you paint with the brush with water and it really looks beautiful. These were rubber stamped images. I got so many rubber stamps, really inexpensive. I love these. I like these better than the wooden blocks because I'm very efficient. Well, my art table looks a mess, but I like things that I can store easily. So I love the wooden handle ones, but I have a box from the 2000s when they were popular in wood, but their storage is so hard. Anyway, mermaids, I have a thing about mermaids and phoenixes, so my mermaids are here. This, to me, always water symbolizes emotions, and brown, and this is dirt, the earth. But I also had a watery background here. But, you know, if you've been watching my channel, I'm recovering from 2 pretty bad spinal injuries. And so that is why I'm putting a lot of focus on emotional healing, because I have my physical healing with my physical therapist, but emotionally I'm left with a lot of grief about loss of mobility. So I've been doing a lot of watery spreads. And to me, wings, I love angels. I believe in angels. My new symbol is the phoenix because I feel like I'm rising out of the ashes. This would be a journal. This is not junk journaling. This is my cat, Bimini, or Bimmy. I do a lot of paintings of Bimmy. This was Bimmy sitting where I painted hieroglyphs in her with a stencil in different colors against black. She likes to always tease her, you're acting like a queen of Sheba. But now I looked up in ancient Egyptian cosmology had a cat god named Bastet. So I always tease, you're Bastet. This was Bimmy hiding. Let me see. These are like, this was such a cute little rubber stamp. I am plus size, curvy. So I like this image of this curly haired, glass wearing, cute, chubby girl. That's my avatar. I want to be like that. I don't walk anymore, so I can't be like that. And I'm not as young as this woman, but otherwise I thought she was adorable. These were stamps, and then I just drew. This was a stamp that I colored, but these I drew. And then just some stencils, splatters, you know. This would be my type of junk journaling. I'm gonna cough on you. Sorry. So my question is, what do you think? Are you a junk journaler? Do you like junk journaling? Do you want to journal? If you don't know, that's fine. Get a journal. I spent money for this fancy schmancy journal because this is the Dilutions. I've talked about it. I have some cards I made in here because I do so much painting on the surface of my pages. They need to be very thick. I do a lot of water soluble stuff. They need to be very thick. So I got a journal made for that. But you can even, for junk journaling, I would say get a composition notebook. I know someone I've read on one of the links that I'm going to provide, the person recommends get a composition book of 200 pages because you're going to want to glue 2 pages together to make them thicker. And then she just goes through how to decorate the cover. And that is very appealing to me. Don't think everything has to be art. I love diamond painting. I don't know if you guys know that. I love embellishment, rhinestones, and in my Etsy store, I think I'm going to start making some keychains or purse charms. Since I have a chronic illness, rheumatoid arthritis, that was the reason for my spinal injuries. I want to support awareness around chronic illness. And I don't know if you know, but the sunflower has become a symbol of support for chronic illnesses because there's so many, like fibromyalgia, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, scleroderma. There's all sorts of illnesses that fall. And what they are, they're illnesses that stem from a dysfunctional immune system. That's what I have. So I might make some keychains that has little sunflowers and little elements like that. I will keep you posted. So maybe I'll try my hand at junk journaling. I just have a feeling I'm going to reach for my paints and start manipulating the page more. But I would love to know what you think. Do you know any of these people? Do you have any suggestions of people I should check out their videos? Because I love just watching crafty videos. So tell me what you think, and I would love to see pictures of any of you do stuff. Bye for now, VanGoghChica.